back to my Let's Play Grand Prix Legends series. Today we are at Silverstone, but it's not for the British Grand Prix, it's for the BRDC International Trophy Race, which was a non-championship race, but it is the last non-championship race before we start up the World Championship again. So, you know, that's exciting. Things to come at Monaco in the next race, but for this one it'll be a good final test to see how my car is and everything, how I stack up against the opponents, and how everything is before we actually start off with the championship race. And this being, you know, a track that the championship later goes to, it'll be good to have a race here already, just to know, you know, what the whole race plays out as. The real race was run over 52 laps. And it was won by Jackie Stewart. It was his first ever win of a race in his very first season of Formula One, and it's not a championship race, but it's still a win. Notably missing from the grid at this race is Jim Clark, and that's because, as many people know, he was off in America practicing for the Indianapolis 500, which he would later win. And in our next race, the next championship race, Monaco, he actually missed that one as well. So that'll open up a chance for, you know, somebody else to get max points. Maybe me, who knows. So why don't we take a look at the starting grid real quick. Starting grid here. So Graham Hill got the pole next to John Surtees, Jackie Stewart, Denny Holm, Bandini, Brabham, Spence, and then me. I'm starting 7th. Or actually, Spence is starting behind me, but I'm starting 7th. So it wasn't the best qualifying time, but there's a very big spread of times here. And you can see Graham Hill up here got a 1:32.6, and Anderson at the end of the grid is a 1:48. So definitely a big spread of times. And if the race were longer, you might see a lot of lapping and things. But it's an 8-lap race. Take a look at the track real quick. I'm sure everybody's familiar with Silverstone. Of course, it was one of the first first Grand Prix tracks, really. But it differs quite a bit from today. It's missing all of the chicanes, the whole stadium section at the end. It's a very fast track. There's a few slow corners here, but you'll see it's long straightaways, you know, at the end, a tight corner, and then back on it. Of course, this track originally circled an airfield, or I believe it still does circle an airfield. I don't know if the airfield's active or not anymore, but World War II airfield when they started racing. I believe it originally actually incorporated some of the runways, but after the first few years they just started racing around the airfield, and that's the track we know today. Of course, it's much more complicated than that now. So without further ado, why don't we get going. Load up my setup here. Check, make sure everything's good. Yep. So we'll be taking an 8-lap race here. I'm going to be starting on the second row on the outside line, so it's going to be an interesting start. It's a very wide grid, 4 cars starting in the front row, so it should be pretty crazy up front. And without further ado, here we are, the BRDC trophy. Alright, so here we are on the grid, starting second row. Got my teammate beside me here. It's going to be a crazy start. Flag is up, and we're good to go. Little wheel spin off the start, slow front row here. Inner lines are passing me. Ooh, got it on the wide onto the grass. And for the first corner, have to take the outside line. Lotus car slips by. I think it's Pedro Rodriguez. Oh, and he leaves the inside open. Dive in. A little bit of a risky maneuver, but it seems to pay off there. I'll be on the outside for this next corner here. This is quick kink and then down hanger straight. Of course, this famous straight that's still part of the circuit now. I definitely lost some positions there on that start. Tires are cold, still slipping and sliding. A little wide onto the grass there, coming out of the corner. Looks like I got Bonnier on my rear here. He's diving up the inside. I have to give him the position there. Nothing I can do to stop him. We'll fly through the last corner here. Overall, very hectic first lap. Rough time. Lost some positions, I think. Very, very tough at this track. You have to make sure you are always, making sure you get your braking points as well as possible. It's you have to set yourself up for these long straightaways well. Looks like I'm gonna come back at Bonnier here. I don't know if I can put it up the inside, and this kinked onto Hanger straight. Oh, and I almost slide into him. Hard braking again, running a little wide. Tires just don't have the grip yet. I can see Rodriguez in my mirror there. Of course, Rodriguez, famous Mexican F1 star. Oh, and again, just too much lack of grip. Allowing Rodriguez to close on me a little. Not what I want. Of course, now diving under the bridge, which is now, the stadium section of this track. And this front straightaway, which was the front straightaway up until just a couple years ago when they added the new renovations. Breaking into the first turn. Seem to be quicker than Bonnier through this section leading up to Hanger straight, so I don't know if I'll be able to put it on the inside of him and think better of it this time. See if I can line him up for at the end of this straightaway. Stay right on his rear and try to draft him. Looks like I might have a little bit of pace on him on the straightaway. Hard braking, and he brakes just slightly later. Take a look at the pit board this time. I'll lock up the right front there. Have to grab second. Miss the apex. A lot of times you just have to focus. When you're driving right behind somebody, you have to focus on the track rather than the car, and only worry about the car when you have to avoid it. You're gonna slow yourself down a lot by concentrating on the car, because you'll drive to him rather than drive your line. And chances are, if you're right on somebody, you're quicker than them anyway. Take a look at the pit board. P9, not what I wanted to see. Drop back 2 spots on the start, and there's 5 laps to go. Bonnier definitely makes a mistake there. Able to charge up the inside and getting a little squirrely under braking. But luckily I was able to clear him. Kind of a bonsai move, involuntarily. Onto Hanger straight, and I've definitely cleared him now. Luckily that worked out for me. Able to pick up P8 with that. Let's see if I can maybe catch this group in front of me. Not sure if I'll be able to do it though. Not sure exactly who's in front of me. It's fast kink here. Just a dab of the brakes, running a little wide on the exit. Still able to keep the speed up. And I love this last corner. Really wish they could have done something other than just kind of get rid of it altogether. But of course that was one of the first corners to change at this track. Braking hard into the first corner here. The crowd standing right on the edge of the circuit. And you have to watch out for the curbs on the inside of this track. On these fast kinks, if you hit them, they'll upset the car very bad, and can lead to just a spin or maybe even suspension damage if you hit them hard enough. Likewise, of course, with the walls. I'd say maybe even tapping the curbs is worse than hitting the walls, but you know, of course, both are bad. I don't know if I'm actually making any headway on this pack. There's a nice pack of cars in front of the one car in front of me here. And it looks like a Bratham. I'm not sure who it is though. Either a Bratham or a Lotus. And of course we know Jim Clark is not in this race, so can't be him. Pit board, 3 to go, P8. It's like Mike Spence and the Lotus is in front of me. So let's see if in these last few laps here I can maybe catch him, line him up for an opportunity to pass. At least get back to my starting position. I see a white flag ahead, which means a slow car is somewhere on the circuit, so I'll have to keep an eye open for that, and I can already see him. A slow car to the inside here, obviously a mechanical problem, just bringing it back to the pit lane. Luckily it doesn't hurt any of the racing. Oh, I'm running a little too quick through there, getting the grass on the exit. Something I'd like to see back in Grand Prix racing is grass on the side of the tracks. I know it's not safe, but at least then there's some sort of penalty for running wide. Throw it into the first corner. And I think I'm gaining ever so slightly on Mike Spence here, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough unless he makes a mistake. Lots of opposite lock going into these corners. It's actually quite a bit of fun. Walking up the right front a little, I'm able to keep it pretty low in the corner. And again, not ideal through there, and there's definitely a yellow flag ahead. I can see a car parked on the outside. This might be our slow car from before. Can't really recognize who it is. But of course with yellow flags, in this era, especially in F1, you just take it slightly cautious. Some drivers just drive regular speed too. Oh, I'm getting a little bit onto the pit road. Nothing though, nothing too bad. a lot of times, back in the 60s and 70s in F1, even in the 80s and early 90s, when cars would break down, they'd just park them on the side of the track, and as long as it wasn't on the racing line, it was deemed safe enough. And this would, of course, change. I see a big change in it after Senna's incident for some reason. Although that didn't involve a parked car, they began mid-90s, and even a little earlier, cleaning up the circuits a lot more after incidents and things. Just a general safety conscience. I can see two cars ahead of me going too wide into the corner, having a good battle. What I think is the final lap. And I definitely have the pace over Mike Spence, but he could be just running his pace. He knows I'm not going to be able to catch him. No need to push, make a mistake or anything. A little opposite lock, and like I said, the car is still there. I'm running wide on the exit. Coming around the final corner here. Let's take checkered flag. 8th place at the BRDC trophy race. What I think was the 16th, 17th BRDC race of all time. And not such a good race for me. Definitely lost a lot of time on the start. So when we come back to Silverstone, later in the season, I'm definitely going to be a little more courageous on the start to try to avoid getting past so much. And it could have just been my starting position to the outside. Of course, isn't the ideal place to begin a race. Left that whole inside open, and with the cars in front being so slow, it was really difficult to make any time up. There was no place for me to go unless I wanted to try to take it on the grass, which on the very first lap of a race I'm not likely to do. Bonnier coming to pass me here. I'll give him a little wave. Thanks for the good battle. Definitely made a good pass on him. A little daring, outbraking him and almost outbraking myself, but it worked. And those are the kind of moves that make headlines. So overall, I'm pretty satisfied with it. And so next, this is the last non-championship race for a little while anyway, and we have a big stretch of championship races coming up. So I have to try to be on my very best racing and hopefully pick up some points. Monaco, of course, is the next one, and it's a very famous race in itself, but also a very difficult one. It's such a tight track, and it's going to be a lot of cars. I'll have to really try my best in qualifying to get in front of most of the melee and avoid an incident as much as possible. So here we come into the pit lane. Interesting pit lane. Kind of goes up a little ways. And overall, not a terrible day. We brought the car back in one piece. Maybe a little damage on the front from that tap at the start, but nothing too bad. So why don't we take a look at the final results here. So after the race, Graham Hill wins it from Jackie Stewart. In real life, Jackie Stewart got the win, but Graham Hill was able to eke him out here in the other BRM. My teammates, John Surtees and Bandini, finished 3rd and 4th. I'm down in 8th place, just like I thought. So overall, not a terrible race, but not the best one we could have had. So that's it for this video. If you liked it or you want to see more, comment and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time at Monaco for the Monaco Grand Prix, the next championship race. So see ya.